Welcome back. It's time for Overlooked Stocks. Shares of Terawulf surged today to a new 3-year high. To tell us more about the company and why its stock was up about 5% on the day as a whole is George Tsilis joining us, our senior markets correspondent. Now, George, I saw Terawulf all over the headlines today. It was on the every single page. You know, what's the story? What's the driver behind this big move upward today?
Well, I think the catalyst for Terawulf is really the business that they're in, first off, and then the partnerships they've established and the financing conditions. I'll explain in a sec, but this is essentially a software application company. It's a digital asset tech firm. They basically provide and own and operate Bitcoin mining facilities. They essentially provide provisional hosting services to third parties. And, there's been a catalyst as of late. Obviously, the crypto markets have performed well. But at the same time, the financing conditions for this firm have actually improved significantly alongside the partnerships that they've secured over the years. If you look at today's catalyst, they actually got another $1.4 billion backstop support in the form of warrants that essentially Google has the right to exercise. And this adds to a total now of $3.2 billion. And if they do exercise all these warrants of around 32.5 shares, they would effectively own about 14% of the company. So Google obviously is a namesake company, a legacy technology firm with deep pockets, and this is all about their hosting services out of Western New York. And it looks like essentially this deal adds to the well-capitalized business that Terawulf has already. Because one of the things about these businesses, it's not necessarily the revenue base effectively. Now, if you look at the revenue of $144 million for Terawulf in the last year, they're still losing about $130 million, so they're not profitable. One of the things I always look at with companies that aren't profitable yet is debt financing. And I did notice that they actually have $500 million in debt on the balance sheet. Now, if you actually look at market capitalization around $3.2 billion, the total deal amount in ownership for Google would be around $3.2 billion, assuming all warrants would be exercised. The debt is actually a good sign in this case, because if you look at the debt relative to the total assets of the business, in terms of plant, property, and equipment, it's close to $900 million, including $90 million in cash. So my point is that this is not a company that owns crypto. That's where you want to be cautious, or a little bit more cautious of price sensitivity of Bitcoin. But I do think that the plant, property, and equipment of this business, alongside the partnership with the Googles, presents a positive catalyst for the name. Which, if you look in the last couple of weeks, it's up significantly. But I will stress this: that this company went public, it looks like, back in 2020, and it's now retracing back to some levels we haven't seen since late 2024, at around the $9.40 area. So it looks like it's potentially here, publishing a major trend reversal with a major cup and handle formation from a technical standpoint. But I think this is an important catalyst for the business because, ideally speaking, this is dilutive in the long run, but it does shore up their financing, which the terms are quite favorable for both Google and Terawulf.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. We see how much movement you get off of these big partnerships and any of these strategic alliance headlines that you see. Last week was the first time that I'd ever really come across them. They inked some 2 deals, I think, with AI cloud provider FluidStack to offer them capacity in this same data center that Google has upped its stake in to help fund the expansion of. And as I was just looking at their chart, in just the last month, they're up 83%. So much of these smaller companies, or even these, not yet profitable companies, is driven by who they're partnered with.
Correct. And in fact, one of the things, I'll just add a little corollary, Applied Digital, APLD, that stock has performed exceptionally well this year. That company also started off as a traditional Bitcoin mining hosting service company and has now expanded into essentially edge cloud computing and AI as a service. So I think the partnership with FluidStack also presents an opportunity to have a dual-based business, both crypto mining hosting services, but also, if you will, AI cloud platform. So I'm not saying this is going to be the same company like Applied Digital, but I do see these horizontal trends where you're seeing multiple technologies being applied in specific data centers, or in this case, crypto mining, as well as AI cloud hosting service data centers with big backers. And if you look at Applied Digital, which I talked about over the past couple of weeks. CoreWeave is a big partner with them, and now you have the Terawulf here with Google. So for what it's worth, these companies are starting to build traction with major hyperscalers, and in the analyst community too. On Terawulf, at the very least, is positive. B. Riley does maintain a buy rating, but they also increased their price target to a street high with 11 analysts now at $14. And right now, the midpoint target for the stock is around $10.36.
Yeah, certainly seeing some positive movement here with this one. Thank you, George, for breaking down Terawulf for us. We greatly appreciate it.